finally, elevators.
You're just doing this for me. You know I like elevators.
No, I like elevators too. Otis Worldwide came out with its numbers. Elevators are important because they give us a barometer in part as to what's happening in office buildings, right? Which, as we talked about last week with the real estate investor, office buildings are still, having some trouble here. If you're in an office building right now, you probably know it's not as full as it used to be.
Yep.
So how did that play out? Because I know you had a chance to talk to the company.
I caught up with CEO Judy Marks, and she took a cautious stance. Really one of the first executives that I've talked to this earnings season to take a cautious stance on the second quarter. Highlighted to me some concern around business in China because of COVID-related lockdowns. Maybe potentially as well getting some components for elevators coming from China. But look, this quarter on its own was pretty good here. New equipment orders up 8.8%. That was good. Organic sales up 3.1%. And another executive, Julie, I asked Judy, have you seen any signs of peak inflation? Not the case. In fact, I believe for this year, they are now looking for a $110 million inflationary hit. They were at $90 million. So this view of peak inflation in the market, here's another company saying that is completely misguided.
That is pretty fascinating, right? And we're seeing it across such a broad swath of companies. I mean, elevators and Coca-Cola, you can't really think of two more different businesses, and yet we're getting a similar message from these two different businesses. What about that idea about office buildings and whether there's enough there to support servicing of elevators and such?
That's your first instinct, and it has been mine historically, too, looking at new residential buildings and trends in the housing market and try to read through what it might mean to a company like Otis. But a large part of the business now, Julie, is actually service-oriented. So they have that recurring revenue stream of just you have to service these elevators. Some of them are, in fact, decades old, and you have to pay someone to make sure these things run.
Yeah, you have to. There's not really a choice.
Well, the alternative is we all get stuck in the elevator.
Yes,
yeah.
Which is not a good alternative. All right.